Good afternoon. Welcome to a little bit of flight sim. It's a Sunday, which is cool. I'm just going to test everything that's working. 1 second. One second. 1, 2. Okay, cool. Okay. Do give us a shout if there's any problems with sound, because I'm not convinced the audio is working. It looks like it is. Okay. So what we're doing today, we're just basically having a quick fly. I'll show you. Let's pull the map in. So I'm going to take the PA28 out. I was just changing some of the controller settings. We've got a quadrant here which has got tends to argue with me a bit. So yeah, just flight. And what should we do? Well, let's pick the route, see what the weather seems like there. Then 1 sec. Really simple flight today, but we do see a bit of California, the Salton Sea. Saw a good documentary on that once. It looked like it was the most loved place in the world. But was that the Salton Sea? Salton Sea is where I'm talking about. Yeah, that's where we're going. So, but interesting times. Okay, we don't want to do it in darkness. Let's brighten things up a bit. Okie-dokie. So going through the Pines Air Park, which none of this route I've done before, but we're going to go down here, go through this valley probably, over the top of the Salton Sea, land in there. We might do a touch and go, and then we'll come up into the mountains themselves and see what's going on there. Okay, it's got this. What weather should we do? We have all players live, traffic, and a preset, which is, why not? Let's do live weather and see what that's like. You can always change it. Okay, so I'm based in the UK, so that's why that time looks a bit strange. I think we can go a little bit earlier. Get a bit of sunrise going on. Okay, so forgive me for pressing buttons. So I'll fly the yoke. The yoke is from Honeycomb, and then we've got quadrant over here for throttle control and so forth, which is still optimizing really, but we're getting the hang of it slowly. I've only got it a couple of weeks ago really. Haven't had a lot of flying time. So yeah, let's go. Please jump on chat if you want to say hi, and I'll be happy to talk to you. First off, we've got to start the plane, which will always well, it doesn't look cool. Runway when you kick off. It's not quite what I wanted to do, but okay, we'll be in here.
5 for your transponder appears inoperative or malfunctioning. Reset squawk 4476.
I don't know where we are now. Yeah, throttle would be good.
5 for your transponder appears inoperative or malfunctioning. Reset squawk 4476.
Because it's all switched off. Should be fine. Alright, well now we've got some fun. I'm gonna fly.
Hyper 554 verified. Squawking 4476.
It's put me in a very strange place. Let's go over this way.
Hyper 554 ATC services terminated.
Good.
Good day.
Didn't want to talk to you anyway.
SoCal approach Piper Alpha
Round boy,
November
can
Delta
you
554
hear the audio
is
from the
type
game?
Piper Arrow
Just
3
checking
miles
some
east
things.
of 8 Charlie Alpha 57,600 feet. Request flight following.
Piper Alpha November Delta 554 SoCal approach. Squawk 4251.
Squawk 4251, Piper 554.
Piper 55 for radar contact 3 miles southeast of 8 Charlie Alpha 5, 5,900 feet. Altimeter 29.90.
Roger, Piper 554.
You lose some height. You got to watch it around here because there's a lot of mountains. Just want to get down to something like a tourist level. It's French Valley, is it? What's wrong with the plane? Bad setup. It's settled down now though. I think we've lost the route I was going to fly, or the flight plan rather. But that's okay because you can see where we are on little nav map. Just settling things down. Just, I don't know if you heard me. I wonder if you can tell me if you can hear the plane engine all right. Because one of the things I'm setting up over here is OBS. It looks like it's doing its thing and audio's going out. So just want to confirm. Not my voice should be fine. More the engine noise and the game noise from the game itself, the simulator. Settle down a bit now. Need to do a bit more research before I fly next time. At least check that the route's going to work. Yeah, there's something is a bit scrapey, isn't there? I wonder what that is. Gears are up. Up, flaps are up. Flaps are up. Not sure what that noise is. Maybe we'll find out when it all falls apart. Anyway, welcome to California. Kind of. Guys in here. So slowly but surely we're picking up bits of this plane and learning how to deal with them. One of the things that was special on this one is the amount of starting needed to get it going, and that's really, I think I really like that, to be honest. I quite like the idea of not starting you hot. And then a little bit of the procedures that get involved in that. And really not flying for fun, really, but not planning to be a pilot. I can't afford to be a pilot. It's a very expensive hobby, and I think I would regret getting into it just because of that. I have no problem with the idea of flying. Probably a bit of an problem with the idea of me flying for real, but I quite like it. I like the technical side of it. So. Coming back to route now, so that's okay. That's all. Just make a funny scraping noise for sure. So I put the power up there and start climbing. It's cloudy today. Watch these hills. They are going to become quite exciting quite quickly. What setup I'm flying? From the point of view of hardware-wise, it's a typical gaming PC from about 3 years ago, or maybe 4 years ago. There's a 2060 NVIDIA, 32 gig of RAM, AMD processor, probably a 5, I think. It runs okay, and we backed off some of the settings of Flight Sim 2. I think they're on high, but some options turned down a little bit. And we get a decent frame rate. And then control-wise, we've got a really only recently got up to now. I played with Thrustmaster, basically, which is like it's good for jet fighters and things like that, but it doesn't give you the real feel that the yoke does. And now I've purchased a yoke and throttle quadrant, so basically all dual controls, which is really nice to have. What it gives you is the tactile feedback. You don't have to do all as much of this, where you're looking around the cockpit trying to find the buttons and things, because they're literally in front of you. And it's very cool from that point of view. And part of that is the reason for that is I'm doing a world tour. You'll see it on my schedule on Thursdays at 7:30 in the UK. Myself and a friend are flying around the world in small hour-and-a-half long legs. And we're currently down in Saudi Arabia. So we left from London, or England anyway. I left from slightly north of London, and we're working our way down the Arabian coast, and then we're going to swing, I guess, easterly to towards India, and then eventually China and Japan, and up to the top again and across. So yokes are better than side sticks for this sort of plane. For side sticks, great for jet fighters, because that's what they have, and probably for your airliners, because they tend to have that in the real cockpit. So, but yoke just gives you so much control, and it's very analog in the way it works, obviously. But, it's just a whole different game when you play it like this. I mean, it's harder actually. It makes you sweat a bit more if you take it seriously. But I have to say, it's a good investment. Probably have to work to pay for these things, and take some time away from gaming then. But flight sim generally is just such a deep game, and so much you can do. Not only the flying in the aircraft and so forth, it's the geography. You can basically do a sightseeing tour of the world, and where else can you do that? Especially during COVID times, and you know, when we were kind of isolated and couldn't get around the world, weren't allowed to. This was perfect. This and Truck Simulator, both the American and the European one, both opened the doors to. Yes, it's the imagination, but it was nice to feel like you were outside at least, seeing the world a little bit. So I would recommend a yoke if you can afford one, but I think on a laptop there's a new, I don't know if I like it or not, there's a new Xbox style controller. It's not by Microsoft, it's someone else, and it's basically a controller with it's got throttles on it, it's got things for rudders and things like that. I think it kind of looks okay. I'm not sure if it's as good as it looks. In some places it looks less than ergonomic, but I can't remember the name of it, to be honest. But if you look up flight sim controller and look for news that's like the last 3 months, you'll find it. Let's hop over this ridge. Yeah, you can. It's kind of pretend. It feels like a plane on the ground, but I think Microsoft have got plans for flight sim generally to be the engine that drives the world. I think they've got plans for that as being the basis for future games, not just flight simulators. Imagine being able to drive across America. It'd be very cool. Like, it just makes sense to use this technology for other things. I think when you get, one of the things they need to do, if they do use the ground a bit more, is they need to improve at least their interpretation of the satellite data they get, because it's great from up here, but as you get lower you can see its texture maps that are a little blocky places. But from up here, I can't really say anything about it. I get about I haven't played Simple Planes. I've seen it on Steam, or is it Steam or mobile? I can't remember. I haven't played that, no. What do you think about that? Do you like it? So that's over 100%. That's Lake Riverside Estates runway that's about. We've got two, a 10 degree, 100 degree and 200 degrees, 260 degrees, the other way around. We're just going to fly over that. I'll give you an outside view looking down. Don't know which button is. Stay. Behind us now. I spot the airlit, spot the runway. Okay, cool. The other one is, again, it's a bit of a resource hog, DCS. If you're more into the fighter side of it, DCS is really, really good. But I got a helicopter in that, and I could not get it off the ground. Well, I could get it off the ground, but then it came down very quickly. So it wasn't ideal. I'm just going to have a swing around this runway again, so let's see what it is. proper grass one. Okay. They're always exciting. They don't come with any navigational indicators. I think that sound is just normal. It's just the sound of the plane arguing with you turning it. Right, let's get back on course. So we're heading towards the Salton Sea, California, and then we're going to just fly over. So not much more than about 40 minutes flight time, with a bit of mucking about at the beginning to land. No, War Thunder always seems, I don't know, maybe it's just me, it always seemed more like an arcade game than an actual game. I think brilliant fun for the fighter side of it. The other one I like, but again, more arcade than simulator, but Ace Combat is such a good game for feeling like you're Top Gun. And it's got like a Japanese storyline, which is quite, I always like Japanese stuff anyway. So just out of interest, can you, my voice, how does that come across to you, Round Boy? Is it clear? We're just testing out all the gear.
Piper 55 for contact Los Angeles Center on 128.15. Good day.
128.15 for Piper 554. Los Angeles Center Piper Alpha November Delta 554 4,500 feet.
Piper Alpha November Delta 55 for Los Angeles Center altimeter 29.83. Continue as planned.
Back on route.
Southwest 2128 descend and maintain flight level 3. Southwest 724
No.
climb and maintain
No, you can't hear
12,000
my
feet.
voice. How do you respond to what I'm saying? Or is it just not clear? One, two. 1 sec. Maybe the gain volume is too high. Just turn it down a bit.
American 2869er descend and maintain
Right.
flight level 3.
Okay, I should be a bit louder now. Okay, 1, 2. So I've just tested the microphone.
Los Angeles Center American 560 is at 15,900 feet.
So Alpha November Delta will be me, AND, which is shortening of my name.
Descend and maintain 9,000 feet.
So what air traffic control's doing there is calling out. I've turned the game down a bit now, so hopefully you can hear me more than the game now. It is hard to balance these things if you don't get feedback from yourself. It's really handy to have someone watching. How's it now? Is it better? Right, we have some mountains coming our way, but they're not too bad. I think we could find our way across. You can hear me, or you can hear the game, or both, and they sound okay. Just say okay, hopefully. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's really, unless you actually sit and listen to your own streams, which is really confusing because it's got a delay on it, you can't always work out what the levels should be. And it's way too easy to turn the game too loud. And actually, the game noise isn't the most important thing. Well, you know, it could be, but probably best if people are talking to you, they can actually hear what you're saying. So, all right. Okay. So off to the left, there's Warner Springs, apparently. I doubt we can see it. No. Sorry, that jiggle was me not holding the button strongly enough. One of the things I do when I'm not streaming is we'll have, you can have multiple screens. So you can have the one in the middle, which is you flying. You can have one off to the left and one off to the right, which are basically showing your view out of those windows. So you end up with a kind of a nice panoramic view, and it's really good for tracking airports. If you want to look down and just see, oh yeah, there's that. It's really good for that. It doesn't really work. You can do it on stream as well, but obviously I couldn't show you it. Also, I need other screens open, like the chat window we've got open now. Over this side, I've got a map just to make sure we're staying on course since we had such a bad start. But yeah, it's funny that noise isn't happening anymore. I wonder what that was. Boom, 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 boom. So what are we doing? We're a bit high actually. We can drop away. So we can drop the throttles to drop the height and push forwards just a little bit because that will bring our speed up again. So we were running a bit hot anyway, so it's okay. The good thing about this plane, this model particularly, is the amount of radio stuff that's going on. So if you're doing VOR, which is what is it, VHF transmission, so you find a beacon, a VOR station on the map, and you can navigate to that by tuning into it on this knob or this one, and that is really cool. If you get like a Morse code message. Well, it is a Morse code message saying where you are going towards, and you can navigate by radio. My job, I'm a software developer, I suppose, and project manager. So my daytime is technical bits and pieces, and my nighttime is, well, technical bits and pieces. I think I've had software in my blood forever. How about yourself? Have you got a job settled down yet, or you not decided where you're going to go? I must admit, I do like my job anyway, so that's quite good. I like the idea of inventing things from nothing. So you start with an empty space. Okay, with most software you borrow things, but you kind of start with nothing and build something new and exciting. Well, hopefully, and hopefully it works. Most of the time it does. Oh, you're a kid. Oh, okay. Being a look, that's a really worthy goal, and you're young enough to start and do that. So that would be really good. So get yourself onto a well, flight sim's a good start, and then maybe I don't know where you are, but in the UK we have a thing called Air Cadets, and you can go once a week, and it basically gives you an idea of not necessarily flying, but some of the things around that. But to be a commercial pilot is a really good job. So I hope you get to where you want to be with that. Don't run yourself down. It's good that you're interested in this stuff. I wish there was simulators like this when I was younger. There was, but it was basic to say the least. All right. So we're going to fly along this ridge and see what goes on there. for about 4,000 feet, which kind of shows how high the mountains are below us, because there must be 2,000–3,000 feet in themselves. Let's take it down a little bit so we can see what's going on. Nice. Wow. Flying things like Flight Simulator and other things just shows you a lot about the amount of things that a pilot does to get you to where you want to go if you're going to a holiday or whatever. And while airliners a lot of it's automated, you still need to know so much. Even if you're using autopilot and things like that, autopilot doesn't take away the work. It just makes it possible to fly, because you would just not do it otherwise. But if you're interested in, it's still Flight Simulator, but there's a guy called Jonathan Beckett on YouTube, and he takes out lots of different planes, and he's really nice guy. Just flying whatever model he's got now, and he'll do a what's called a cold start. Oh, brilliant! So I'm guessing you must be in America then, because there's not a lot of those in the UK, or maybe don't have to say where you are. It's fine. So this ridge has taken us off course a little bit. We could just hop over it, but I'll wait to the end and we'll get back over there. That noise is like someone's got a dishwasher running. So if I show you the map. Oh, so we're just coming off that ridge now, and we're going to come down and cross here over to the runway. This is an airport, and then we're going to go over the Salton Sea. Ah, Filipino, cool. So it must be late for you now. A nice and come down a bit so we can get level with the ground. Okay, yeah. Well, it's nice to have a chat with you. All right, we've got to swing over towards the east, I think. Yes. And soon we'll see the Salton, what's called the Salton Sea in California. You'll probably just about see them. Actually, can see the. Can we see the airfield? No, I thought I could see the lights for a minute there. There's not a lot of buildings around here. There's not a lot of roads, to be honest. Probably flying along the road, whatever road it is, but it hasn't got a lot of mapping. This is probably an old river, actually. Yeah, it's a river. Who's that? Air Ranch. Is that right? Speed up a little bit. 13 nautical miles. So I just see the Salton Sea now on the horizon. And that blip in the distance is the runway we're not going to land at. We're going to go over and then turn northeasterly towards our final destination, which is about 40 nautical miles afterwards. Right, my co-pilot will report me altitude in sight. Okay. Okay, but I was going to maintain the present heading and altitude anyway, so that's good. all riverbeds going towards the sea, and kind of a sea, a very large lake, and then I think the Salton Sea was much larger, and it's drained, it's evaporated. Right, so we're coming over an actual airfield by the looks of it. Make a change. Well, actual as in it's got tarmac. No lights though. So not a great place to use for instrument landing. Well, for eyeball landing anyway. Oh, Microsoft's not doing a good job of the runways today. What have we got? Bandwidth problems. Look at it. I have to change some of my settings. Don't do that. Okay, sorry about that. I was just adjusting some of the settings on the stream because they were wrong. So, okay. Okay, so we're going to swing through that that valley just to our 11 o'clock, and then we're going to come around there, and then we'll start preparing for landing. Excuse me. A bit more speed. Sorry, just a bit of landing preparations there. I'm concentrating a bit too much and being too quiet. Sometimes it feels like you're going nowhere, but this just okay. Yeah, I can still do my microphone turned up a little bit, I think. Can't go much more. Okay. Doesn't sound well, does it? Don't know. So we're not actually going for Julian pump plant because the runway we want is just to the it's kind of south of that. Just going to boost the gain on the microphone a little bit. Okay. Sorry about that. Cut the stream. Okay. Need to lose some height now. Where we're going should be over to our left somewhere. Can't see an awful lot of, there's something over the back there. Yeah, could be that. So just kind of lining up for landing, although we're going to come in at 90 degrees to the runway. But we can organise that once we get down there. We're probably about 5 nautical miles out. It says something that the land around here is about 3,000 foot on its own. There's another one that doesn't exist. We might land at Julian Sands instead, just because it's actually there. Kind of a runway there, isn't there? Okay. We'll come in at Julian Hines pump plant instead. Okay, coming in. Oh, bumpy. Bouncing along. That was not a good land. That was not a good landing. But it will do. Well, next time. These guys went, what the hell was that about? I think my settings in flights need organising a little bit. There's a little bit lacking when it comes to prettiness. Oh, it's also a runway we shouldn't have landed on, apparently. Need to move my pedals. They're a little bit close. Yeah, don't do that, mister. God, yeah. That'll do. Okay, so that's us on the ground. Let's turn things off. Okay, for those who enjoyed or joined me for the flight, especially you, Round Boy, thanks very much thanks for coming along. And yeah, we'll get better and better as we do this. But it was a nice little hour-long flight, just to show you where we went. 1 second. So we went. Zoom out a bit. So we flew out from kind of randomly picked an area, and we flew out of Pines Air Park here, and then we did this random loop, mostly because we suddenly, I don't know, we just ended up in the air above Pines, and I think Flight Sim decided that was a fun thing to do. So we ended up doing this weird loop to try and get back to where we should have been, and then interested in this Lake Riverside estate, and so we flew a loop around that, and then we headed off. Actually, kind of followed this valley and a ridge there, which took us off course somewhat when we were flying visually back onto the Salton Sea, and then across there, Desert Air Ranch, and we didn't actually land Chicago Summit because it kind of was there but wasn't. But in Flight Sim, I think my Flight Sim settings are set too low and they look a bit rubbish now. And actually, Julian Hines is where we landed, which was fine. Good a little airstrip, and actually we were fine coming in on 04, but 22 was closed. So and the guys down here have fuel pumps and things. So that's the flight for today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching us on VOD, thanks again. Even if you fast forwarded through it, I don't blame you. But the funny bit at the beginning was fun. But give us a follow if you are interested in what we do or what I do. Kind of Flight Sim mostly, but we can also play all sorts of things. Sometimes to request or just whatever. But I'm just doing this for fun more than anything. And that's it for today. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Check out Thursday nights, 7:30. There's regular stream there. Thanks a lot. Bye now.